That is a very good question to which there is no clear answer. I mean, Netanyahu is clearly talking in terms of regime change. That has been his perhaps dream for quite some time. Whether that can be achieved by military means, like he's now trying, is, I think, highly debatable. At the very most, if there is a sustained military campaign of the sort that now seems to be coming, he can probably achieve a regime collapse in Iran. But whether a regime collapse will lead to stability, to put it very, very mildly, that is highly debatable. So the long-term aims of the Israeli operations are not clear. Of course, he's saying that he will reduce the ability of Iran to make a nuclear weapon, and he will succeed with that short term. But of course, over time, he might actually stimulate the Iranians in the years ahead to actually go nuclear.
And why do you say that? That Iran, I understand that you believe that Iran didn't have the intention to build nuclear weapons, but now it is likely to go down that path. Just explain your thinking here.
Well, we don't really know, to be quite precise. But I mean, the assessment by US intelligence, as it was reported publicly a couple of weeks ago, is that they have not taken decision to acquire nuclear weapons. They certainly have the ability to do it, the technical ability to do it if they want to, but they have not decided to do it. Whether they will now say, well, nuclear weapons might be the only way that is there to deter an attack of this particular sort. I mean, you hear voices in the Iranian debate arguing that line now. Now, clearly, their technical ability to do it will be significantly degraded by the Israeli action. But significantly degraded is that 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, security policies played out in a somewhat longer perspective. But we simply don't know. To completely eliminate the Iranian ability to acquire nuclear weapons by purely military means is hardly feasible.
Let me ask you about the European angle here and the potential involvement of European nations. We've got leaders urging both sides to de-escalate. Over the weekend, we've heard from several European leaders that they are calling for both sides to stand down. But when push comes to shove, do you see European leaders coming to the defense of Israel here? Clearly, they do have concerns about Iran's nuclear program. Keir Starmer, for example, came out over the weekend saying that he has longstanding concerns about the nuclear program that Iran has and recognizes Israel's right to self-defense.
Yeah, if you look back in time, of course, what Europeans have been urging has been a political solution for a long time. It was the European initiative that led, after several years of diplomatic efforts, to JCPOA, and which then Trump got out of, as you remember. And since then, Europeans have been urging the American administrations, Biden first, to go back into some sort of JCPOA. So that urge is still going to be there. Is that going to be possible to do now? You can hear President Trump saying that he's fairly optimistic about the political deal. I find that somewhat difficult to believe, at least short term. But clearly, the European interest is to seek a political solution that brings stability and durable stability to the region, so that we don't have the one war after the other in what is, after all, our fairly immediate neighborhood.
I mean, certainly it's clear that that's what they would like. They would like a political solution here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen. So again, just coming back to my question, if they do need to get involved militarily, do you see Europeans moving to assist Israel here?
No, I don't see the Europeans getting involved militarily. That, I think, is out of the picture. I mean, you see the Americans, even the Americans, being hesitant now to go into this particular conflict. It might happen, but it seems like the Americans are keen to stay out of it for the time being, and the Europeans are certainly not going to go into a military involvement. You've seen some efforts to also militarily by the Europeans to contribute to stability in the Red Sea with protecting the shipping there, but to go into active hostilities against the one or the other in the Middle East, that's not going to happen.